Hello, welcome back to my kitchen. Today we are doing a gingerbread house because it's, Christmas theme time. However, it is 80 degrees outside, so that's kind of putting a little damper on the Christmas mood. And also it's making the sweater extremely warm. But a gingerbread house, kind of 3 components, which might become 3 videos. We'll see how it pans out. The gingerbread structure itself, which is what we're gonna do today. And then we have the royal icing, which is gonna hold everything together, and then obviously the construction and decoration. And I don't know how long it's gonna take for the icing, how long I'm gonna ramble and whatnot, but I kind of was imagining that being a separate video from the decoration. But I feel like it might be short. So if I do that all quick, we'll see how that goes. But today we are for sure just doing the structure, gonna bake that, and call it a day. The recipe is a gingerbread house recipe, so I'm guessing it's gonna be a little bit more, I wanna say the word stale, but it's not gonna be gooey, not gonna be as edible, I assume, but I'm going to take a little nibble out of probably an extra little piece that we're gonna throw in the oven with the baking and see if it's viable to make gingerbread men out of, or if this is exclusively a gingerbread house to look at and not consume. I'm pretty sure nobody consumes a gingerbread house because those things sit on display for the whole month. We will get into baking. I have all the ingredients out in front of me. So we'll kind of run through that real quick and then we will put it all together and mix it because this is a relatively easy recipe. Just kind of dump everything in there, mix, roll out, cut, put in the oven. The hardest part is just gonna be getting all the sizing right. I had a vision of making a fancy gingerbread house, but I feel like we might keep it basic just for the mental math, because if I start getting fancy, I'm gonna have to start calculating areas and sizes that we need to stuff line up. So hopefully everything's fine. If not, you'll be entertained by my inadequacy. So let's run through the ingredients and then we'll get into cooking. So in this bowl, we have the flour, the cornstarch, and then the baking soda. And if your flour doesn't have xanthan gum, you're gonna need to add some kind of in this step, but mine does, so I didn't need to add any. In this, we have the ginger, the cinnamon, salt, and the sugar. So these are all gonna kind of be added in groups together, so I kind of segmented them out into different bowls. And then this bowl is just brown sugar, straight up. Oh, and also kind of rule of thumb, I did measure everything out by weight, so I used my electric scale versus kind of sizing. So usually brown sugar is kind of packed from the measuring cup, but this one isn't because I did it by weight. Also an egg at room temperature, mind you. Butter, also at room temperature. Molasses, honey, and then finally some vanilla extract. So the recipe's first step actually says to preheat the oven, and I'm not gonna do that. Because later on, after we roll out the dough and cut it, we need to put it in the fridge to kind of let it set a bit because it's gonna be pliable, and we don't want that because if you move it while it's pliable, it's gonna deform, and then when you bake it and try and fit it together, shapes are gonna be different. So I'm going to preheat during that step because I don't need the oven on this whole time. Plus the oven is directly behind me. And like I said, it's hot outside, the oven will be radiating heat on me and the sweater, not a fun combo. So we're going to wait on that and just kind of get into making the dough, which the first step of that is going to be to whisk together essentially the dry ingredients, excluding the brown sugar. That's gonna come right afterwards. So whisk together these. So that means I need to put the whisk attachment on my KitchenAid. This is gonna be interesting to do from this angle, but what's the best way for the camera? I think this doesn't feel right. We're gonna do it from over here. Oh, that is not. Come on. All right, fine. That went on the floor. There we go. The best way probably would have been to use a spatula. That's probably the best way to do that. Oh well, too late. We've come this far. Almost like I'm struggling. Okay, and then just blend it all up. I usually don't use a KitchenAid from behind, so this is the first experience for me. It'd be good if I plugged in the KitchenAid. That's helpful. All right, let's try this again. All right, so those are whisked together. Now we add the brown sugar and then once again whisk until there are no lumps. All right, no lumps in there, and I realized the egg is supposed to be beaten, so we'll do that real quick, and then we'll add all of the wet ingredients in. It says to form a well in the middle and add them to that, but I'm not going to. I will, however, switch out for the dough attachment, just because I feel like I think they're called the tines on the whisk probably aren't strong enough to handle the dough that's about to form. Cool. I guess since we're here, we might as well make a well and follow the instructions. Ooh, wait, hold on. Is this holiday themed? Yeah, it is. Holiday themed spatula. Yeah, I try and be a rule breaker and then I'm not. So we will start with the egg. Don't break things. Put that in our little well. Obviously you can't see this. I should get a second GoPro and have it sit in here, and then we can have like a little camera. Maybe. And then we need, what, half a teaspoon of this? Now the butter. So, and for the molasses and the honey, I'm going to do a little trick because they are quite sticky. Spray a little bit of vegetable oil into my tablespoon so then they kind of flow out a little bit better. Cool. Dripping everywhere. I knew that it worked with honey. Molasses apparently is more sticky than the vegetable oil can handle. And we're done. I believe, ooh, I don't want to put that there. I need a plate. All right, so now that everything is in there, little bumps along the road getting there, but we are going to mix that until it kind of incorporates into a dough. Well, first you gotta raise it. That seems pretty good. Okay, so this is smart. I didn't think of this, but somebody in the recipe did their research. It says parchment paper, but I have this silicone mat, so I'm gonna use that. You use this to flour and roll out on because then you can lift it all up to put on the baking sheet to put in the oven. This kind of grips the surface here, but if we put like a towel underneath, will it slip around though? We'll see how this goes. It feels pretty flat, pretty smooth, and then I can move it as needed. Yeah. So now we want to take the dough out from here. All right, so let's flour the surface and then we can start rolling out the dough. Let's roll it out. Autobots roll out. Oh, I need to put a little bit of flour on my rolling pin and then we should be good to go. Okay, sprinkle with more flour. This does not seem like a ton of dough to be working with, and I have totally not been paying attention to how thick. That is way less than 1/4 of an inch. Yeah, no, that is at 1/4 of an inch. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Okay, we'll just re-roll. That's fine, that's fine. Let's keep a better eye on thickness. Get out a level and check all this. I feel like that's about the thickness that we want it. Yeah, that's 3/8. Kind of make some straight edges here. Because if we do a circle, we're gonna have a lot of leftover bits. Just gonna smooth that out. What I'm worried about is you can't really see it, but because I reformed, there's a bit of a line there, and I feel like that's gonna be a stress fracture just waiting to happen. Okay, so we need front and back which we're gonna need like 2, and then we're gonna need 4 walls. How are we gonna do this? How are we gonna do this? If we, how big is this? So it's about 11 inches by about 11. So it's 11 by 11. 4 walls, 2 fronts. Those should be the same height as the side. If we make those square, that kind of makes life a little easier for sizing. So probably, is that gonna be like a 3 by 3? I guess that's not terribly small. Okay, so we're gonna start from up here. There. That's not a right angle that I just made. It's fine, we'll figure that out later. We'll figure that out right now. This is gonna be an artistic representation of what a house looks like. Hold on. We can we can salvage this. So this is gonna be a 3 by 3. So that'd just be a wall, which we need 4 of those. So that's fine. I was really hoping. I thought that would be the roof area. Okay, that kind of works. This is not gonna go well. Oh boy, how is this gonna turn out? See, a lot of this stuff would work a lot better if I did it once and then filmed it for you guys, because I'm learning on the fly and I've never done this before. So I'm figuring out that doing cuts with straight angles like this and I'm just pushing straight down probably would have worked a lot better. I'm feeling like there's still gonna be gaps though, but frosting can fill that. The thickness of those doesn't seem the same. That doesn't seem straight. Templates. I don't have a printer, so I couldn't print anything out. Nor did I want to get like my straight edge and things like that to line stuff up. My father would be shamed at the lack of checking of angles and things like that. I think I have all the components. I'm going to move this to the baking sheet, move that to the fridge, let it all cool, turn on the oven, and then I will see you guys in a bit to pop it in the oven and then seeing how it looks coming out of the oven. Oh, that's gonna be a lot of flour all over the place. I didn't think about that. Going in the refrigerator, I will catch you all for baking. All right, so here we have it. I have removed it from the larger encasement of dough, which I guess you could kind of recombine, re-roll that, make some more. I don't know if there's enough there to make another one of these, but we will see. So we have the 2 front and the back, the sides, and then potentially the roofs. I don't know how well it's looking up for you guys, but the sizing leaves me wanting more. But we will see kind of how it goes. We can use icing to fill in bits. It's gonna be an experience. All right, so let's pop in the oven at 325 for 14 minutes and let it completely cool in the baking sheet. You know, the series of events today just keeps on getting better. They expanded quite a bit more than I thought, so there's not really any straight edges anymore. Kind of should have expected that because that's how cookies work. These ones, I didn't spread them out enough, kind of fused together, so I cut those. But they've cooled now. I am going to maybe have to cut them. They're still not fully cooled, so I might be able to, now that they've cooled a bit, kind of trim them down. So I might give that a go off camera. If that doesn't work, I might have to do a rebake. To be fair, I don't know how to rebake and keep this from happening, we will see how this all goes together. Like I can probably cut those down and kind of trim stuff up, and hopefully it's fine. But what we're here for is to see how it tastes. It smells great, like that. It in the oven smelled fantastic. So let's see if it is edible or if it's more of a for show thing. It's one of those things where I don't really remember how gingerbread cookies tasted. It definitely tastes like ginger, and it kind of has like a ginger snap vibe is like what my brain's going to, which I guess is essentially gingerbread. So it doesn't taste bad. You kind of get a strong molasses flavor in there. Overall, pretty good. So this is viable to make, I think, gingerbread cookies out of with like the scraps and whatnot that you have left over. Or if you want to make the gingerbread house and then act like Godzilla and take a bite out of it right away. I feel like if you let it sit for too long and it gets stale, that might not be quite as edible, but this could be a fun little like bake it, make it, shove it in your face and destroy it kind of a fun little activity. But it's good. My baking skills not so good, so I'm gonna have to try and fix that. Overall, pretty fun experience. Maybe I should try and just do gingerbread cookies in the future and not try and build a house out of it. We will see how this all comes together in the coming weeks. Hopefully you enjoyed, and hopefully, almost dropped that, you're looking forward to gingerbread house being built and constructed. And on that note, bye Mom, still not dead. See ya.